What is up, Tampa Bay? Welcome, y'all. Happy to have you here tonight. And this is another live episode of Living in Tampa, Florida. We're excited to be here with you. I am with my trusted co-host, Miss Stacy Amon. Good evening.
Good evening. So excited to be here on Tuesday.
Absolutely. And as usual, you were running around like a crazy person with clients before jumping on today. Stacy is always like it. She shows up on here with y'all and she's like a duck, right? Head above water, everything's going fine. And underneath, man, those little feet are just paddling like crazy. She was out running around with clients today in Epperson, right? In Wesley Chapel?
Yes,
right.
Epperson, yeah.
Fantastic. And I believe that we have 5 families in this weekend.
We do. 5 families.
Yeah.
It's going to be a busy one.
It's been, this is our time of year, y'all. This is the Super Bowl for relocation to Tampa because everybody's on spring break. Everybody's on Easter break, midwinter, all that stuff starts happening at, mid-February and we get really busy. So we're not complaining. We're just laughing because that is the world we live in right now. And we're excited to serve y'all. So pleasure to connect. And if we've never met before, my name is Juan Alcala. I am a licensed realtor, team leader here with the True Living Group, but we make videos that are all things Tampa Bay, what it's like to live here, what it's like to work here, what it's like to play here, the food, the dining, the outdoors, the beaches, and the sunshine. If this is your first time joining us live, we do this every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can connect with us. We'd love to know where you're watching from. Please let us know in the chat, whatever platform you're watching on, whether that's YouTube, LinkedIn, X, Facebook, goodness gracious, Instagram. We're all over the place right now. So don't hesitate to connect with us. We would love to know where you're watching from. And if you have questions about the greater Tampa Bay area, don't hesitate to ask those questions either. This show is better when you participate. Right, you guys have great questions. We come prepared with something every single evening. Sometimes we use it. Most recently, we have not. You guys have been coming with such good questions, and we love answering them. And it really keeps us on our toes, but more importantly, it gets us engaged with you guys. So thank you for being a member of our community. Thank you for watching the show. Thank you for your contributions. We appreciate y'all. So with that being said, let's get into what's happening here in Tampa Bay. And of course, we want to say hello to everyone before we get started because that is one of our favorite things to do. So let's check in with who we got so far this evening. We've got Lobo. We'll be there June 8th through the 15th. Juan, hope to meet up with you. Absolutely, Lobo. If you haven't jumped in with on the calendar, please do, right? We need to connect with you ahead of time so we can lock you in the calendar. That way you're not an orphan when you arrive. Yeah, we want to make sure we give everybody the appropriate time. So don't mind reaching out. We appreciate that. Paul Ader says, Juan, please find me a 3 to 4 unit residential building for sale. Listen, my man, I am happy to do that as long as I don't want the deal. Like I said before, no, I'm kidding. Yeah, we're looking at multifamily a lot right now. The inventory is ridiculously tight. For obvious reasons. Tampa has been a very strong economy, one of the strongest in the country. Florida is still one of the top relocation areas in the country, and it is the top relocation destination. And multifamily housing units in general are tight. So that definitely is leading to that tightness in inventory. And I thought we might see some because we were building a lot of apartments and there was some softening last fall, but we're just not seeing that right now, Paul. So if anything comes up, my man, you get on the list. We'll let you know about it for sure. The YouTube user says, YouTube live in Lexington Oaks, Wesley Chapel. What is up? Lexington Oaks. I love that. We got locals watching. Lexington Oaks is a great neighborhood, just so y'all know. Love the community up there, and thank you for watching. Appreciate that. Love to know your name, by the way. YouTube user is cool, but name is better. But love to connect. Chris says, hey, Juan and Stacy, it's great to see you both this week. Great to see you as well, sir. Pleasure to connect.
Hi, Chris.
Yes, Chris, we're doing great, man. Thank you for reaching out to about that. And the best name in all of live streaming, Sassy But Classy, has arrived. It is an official start to Living in Tampa Live when Sassy But Classy arrives. I love saying that. It's so much fun. She makes it fun. I love that. AJ says, YouTube, just got home from work and looking forward to the show. We are looking forward to the questions and the engagement. And Jeff, Awesome, Jeff. Thank you for reaching out. Jeff is in Lexington Oaks up in Wesley Chapel. Well, right by Stacy, actually. So happy to have y'all. Okay, cool. Well, let's get into this. Some pretty cool news came out this week. And also today is one of those days that interest rates is not agreeing with anybody. So Lord only knows what that's going to look like coming up soon. But some good news around Tampa Bay, over the last, honestly, the last 4 years. But this last few weeks, we're just getting more and more news about how healthy our economy is here, the jobs, all of those things. And, we talk often about the cost of living and the pros and cons of living in Tampa. We talk about safety from time to time, depending on, what areas we're looking at. We talk about the developments that are happening in the community. But one of the things that I'm really most proud of with the community is just how much we continue to attract high quality residents to the area, Stacy. It's one of my favorite things to just kind of sit back and watch, because a thriving city should have a heartbeat, right? And that heartbeat is like, are you bringing jobs to the area, right? Are you bringing places in employment where people want to work? Tampa has been recognized as one of the tech hubs, one of the fastest growing tech destinations in the country for tech jobs, which is great. We're number 2 behind Arizona right now for tech jobs. Now, that's a very broad category. So, depending on what discipline you're in, there's going to be some pros and cons of that in terms of like what jobs. We're seeing cybersecurity. That's a big one right now that a lot of our clients or reach outs are moving in for. That's one of them. Software development, I'm not hearing as much, but cybersecurity seems to be like that number one kind of thing that's happening there. So definitely interested in seeing that. But one of the things I love is last week we did a video on downtown Tampa, and it was fun. It was fun to go downtown and do that. You guys know I love our city, but one of the unique things about Tampa is, for me, moving from Detroit, where I came from, 5 years ago, and I spent a majority of my life, you could get a single family home pretty close to downtown Detroit. Detroit is huge. It's a massive metropolitan area, right? But in Tampa, there's no single family homes. And in Tampa, we've discussed before, is a very, very big little city is the best way I would explain that, right? Like when you're driving up on it and you see these high, the one Tampa building and these high rises, like it feels like it's a big old city. And then you drive down it and you recognize it's basically 2 streets, right? Stacy, you go down, you're on the riverfront, like you're on the Riverwalk, you're driving past Curtis Hickson Park, you get downtown towards the convention center, and then you basically turn around and head back up. Like that was the whole city. And it's been like that for a long time. And the court buildings are kind of in between that. But with the waterside development and with channel side development really kind of blooming in Sparkman's Wharf and all the beautiful areas there, it's really starting to grow and come up. And now they're working on the developments between channel side and Ybor City. And we've got this huge development of gasworks on the docket, right? They're building the infrastructure for that right now. So the city landscape and quite honestly, the cityscape itself is continuing to change, right? There were 3 cranes up in the air that day I was down there, Stacy. They're building all these huge buildings, right? And the condos down there in the townhomes, and it's fun. The city here, at the end of the day, you can walk almost everywhere or jump in the rail car, which is really cool, right? The streetcar is available all day. It goes from Ybor City all the way over to Curtis Hickson Park and all the way back. But it's clean. There's people walking everywhere. Like it never feels unsafe to me. You know what I mean? And like, I really have enjoyed my time in downtown Tampa. And I went and ate at a little restaurant called Small Giant for lunch and had a really good experience. But the city itself, it feels good, y'all. Right? I went past the Columbia. We've got all the museums down there. You're on the Riverwalk and people are running and walking and the dogs and the kids are everywhere. Like, it just felt great. And it was 81 degrees, y'all. Right?
Our weather has been great.
Oh, yeah. No humidity. I mean, it was just like, this is why I moved here. This is why I love living here. And it has its challenges, right? It's going to be 88 degrees or 90 degrees soon, right? And it's going to start warming up and reminding me of how those Gulf Coast summers are aggressive is a term that I'll use, right? But like, I'll suffer through that 4 months, 3.5, 4 months, every single day of my life, if I have to get to the other side, right? Which is the 8 months of incredible weather that we have. Like this month is unbelievable, right? The pools are warming up if you don't have heaters. The Gulf is warming up. You know, if you really want to know what a Gulf Coast sunset is, this is the time to go out because there's no humidity, right? You're getting, it's just so good. And I know we've got people in right now, and I got a text message the other day from a client who is from Michigan, and they're down visiting, and he took me up on going to Engine 9, and he sent me a screenshot the other day. Let's see if I can share it with you guys, because I think you'll get a kick out of it. Hold on, let me dig it up. But he sent me a screenshot of the burger that he had, and he literally said, best burger I've ever had. And let me just tell you, there are great hamburger restaurants in Detroit, and I mean outstanding, right? So, but I'll share this with you guys really quick because I just got the biggest kick out of it. Hold tight. I'll make sure I'm not sharing his phone number on live on YouTube. Like we're not trying to do that. So hold, please. Share screen. What do we got? Window, entire screen. Here we go. So check out this photo of the burger my man bought.
That does look good.
That is legitimate. Right, yeah, that's unbelievable. Look at that thing. It's got onions and all kinds of stuff pouring out the side of it, cheese, and like it was so good. But literally the comment was best burger I've ever had. So awesome. Glad you enjoyed that, my man. Appreciate that. Cool. Well, we're gonna get into some things about going around downtown, and that's what I was talking about too. Is this what is happening downtown? And I just came across this Downtown Vitality Index. So there was a company who did a research on what's happening. They studied 44 major metropolitan areas and ranked the vitality of the downtown area, Stacy, which I thought was pretty cool, right? And this came out right after I went and did the video. And it says Tampa's downtown has proven itself resistant in post-pandemic times. And you guys can see this beautiful shot here of downtown Tampa, which is just unbelievable, right? It's so beautiful. I love this. This is the Riverwalk. That's the convention center right there. This is Hyde Park. When you come over to this side here, and then this round building right here, which kind of looks like a gun turret. It's pretty interesting. That's Curtis Hickson Park on the other side of that. So just trying to give you guys some reference on what's going on there. But I love how this it says the town has proven itself according to the latest Downtown Vitality Index from the business journals, which analyzed a variety of metrics affecting downtown activities. Okay, I went into my radio voice there. But getting into that in the post-pandemic world, Tampa posted a downtown vitality index of 63.5, which ranked 6th among 44 markets analyzed. That's the important number. All the other numbers are gibberish. The one to take recognition of is the fact that it placed 6. And the cities on this list are highfalutin, y'all. Right? These are big name cities. So I want to kind of get in that. The score is based on weight formula that looked at these factors, which is downtown office and commercial real estate trends, urban central business district and hotel occupancy, percentage of individuals who work from home, downtown cell phone activity compared to pre-pandemic levels, public transit ridership trends, I like that, and then metro population growth. So these are the factors that they took into consideration here. You can go deeper into this article if you guys want to. I'll put it in the post chat here. But afterwards, it shows the ranking. This is the easy thing to read, right? So I love this. So on this list, we ranked 100 being best. Nobody made 100. The closest was 71.85, and that was Miami. So downtown Miami ranked pretty high. Here's the thing that shocked me. Wichita, Kansas is number 2 on this list.
What?
That is so far from my mind, y'all. And this is, listen, if you're watching from Wichita, God bless you guys. Like, let us know. I am ignorant to the fact that Wichita apparently has a dope downtown, right? Because that is what's happening right here. This is measuring the vitality, like the health of your downtown area. And it's saying that Wichita, Kansas is number 2 out of 44 cities, second to only Miami. That just blew my mind, y'all. I was shocked by that. Number 3 is Nashville. Number 4 is Cincinnati. Cincinnati does have a really cool downtown area if you've never been there before. Number 5 is Orlando. Boo. Now I'm starting to question the validity of said analysis here because, listen, that that doesn't even count. You do know that a mouse built that house, right? Like, it's not even the same thing. They got unlimited money. They can do whatever they want there, and they still only rank 5th. I think that speaks louder than words. You got beat by Wichita, Kansas, Orlando. How does that feel? That's what I want to know. Just kidding. We love our fellow Floridians in the middle of the swamp. Kidding. Just joking. Joking aside. Tampa ranked 6th. Honolulu, Hawaii, number 7. Albany, New York at number 8. Raleigh, North Carolina, and Greensboro to round out the top 10. Dallas was number 11 there. So pretty interesting on this list. Jacksonville was in the top 15. So you got Jacksonville, Orlando, Miami, and Tampa all in the top 15. So, I mean, Florida, of course, right? Everybody's moving here. But I thought that was a very interesting stat. And I share that with you guys because after spending another week downtown documenting the city, like, it's obvious to me, like, this thing has so much more runway to just do really well with. And I'm pretty excited about that. Now, another thing that came out this week that is important to note that I'm going to share with you guys too was this. They're doing a they're measuring the office vacancy rates. Okay. Now, why is that important? I know you're like, Juan, why are we talking about this? Because again, there are cities like San Francisco that are sitting almost half empty in their commercial real estate. That is that's not good. That says that jobs aren't there. That says that people aren't there, right? Takes away from everything. And if the city is the heart of the area and your heart is dying, you got problems, right? So 18 sounds like a big number, but when you start to look a little bit deeper, among the major regions with more than with a million or more square feet of office space, St. Petersburg Central District by far had the lowest vacancy rate of 6.6%. So when we talk about the greater Tampa Bay area in general, St. Pete is leading the way, which makes total sense to me. St. Pete is a vibe, and it is alive all day, every day. And Tampa is going to look and feel like that at some point. Now, Tampa's newer, it's larger, but there is a vibe in St. Pete, and you can start to feel that right now in Tampa, downtown. This is why I'm sharing this with you guys. And knowing that the vacancy rates are really low, that says a lot. Now, even further, right? Like the only one with the lower vacancy rate was South Pinellas at 5.4. Right. So Pinellas County is where St. Pete and Clearwater is. That's the area there. So I just thought that was interesting. Here are the vacancy rates based upon region. All right. So West Shore has a higher vacancy rate. I-75 corridor is a little bit higher. Tampa, Northwest Tampa, Gateway, and those types of things. Now, I don't want to beat everybody up with this type of information, but the point I was driving home here is our city is alive. Tampa is alive. People are investing in it. Investors are spending money there, right? Young professionals are living there. Remember, Tampa's only 35.9 years of age on average. And I think that number is going to be lower when we get the new census numbers. Remember, they do it every 4 years. The last one was 2020. So we'll get that new census at the end of 2024, beginning of 2025, Stacy, and we'll see just how much the region has actually grown, right? And I think that number is going to go down. Because every time I go to downtown Tampa, it is full of young people, right? And they're out and about, they're living it up, having a great time. So I wanted to just share that with y'all, just to kind of give you some insights on what's going on. We're going to talk a little bit about real estate specifically as we go tonight, but I want to get back into these questions. Good evening, where you guys are watching from. I know we got people on Insta. Shout out to Instagram right now. Let me see if we're getting questions over there. Hey, from Newfoundland, Canada. My wife and son are looking forward to moving to Florida one day, and we were thinking about Tampa. Well, you're thinking correctly. Feel free to reach out to us. Shout out to those over on Instagram. Hey, give a thumbs up wherever you're watching, y'all. Let us know that you're hanging with us tonight. Let's get into some of these questions, Stacy. Let's chop it up and bring them, y'all. Y'all have great questions. Remember, let us know where you're watching from. You got questions about the Tampa Bay area, anything, right? Where's the best place to get a burger? Like I shared, ask. That's what we're here for, man. We're here to help. Okay. Corey says, hey, Juan and Stacy, not to sound too morbid. Where are we going with this? Talk a lot about how many people are moving to Tampa area, but what do those numbers look like compared to mortality? That is a great question. I don't track that. That is a fascinating question. I know we netted The area netted 66,000 people over the last 3 years. Okay, so that is net positive. People moved out, people moved in, people left us and went to a much holier place, and we still net positive. So maybe that helps, but I've never looked into that. Great question, interesting one for sure. Okay, Sin, that's a new one. Welcome, Sin. I don't remember reading any of your questions before, so thanks for reaching out. Appreciate that. Hello, looking to relocate from Canada. Shout out to my people to the Great White North. Visiting Tampa from June 23rd to August 9th. Would you be able to meet in person this coming July? July is a ways away, but absolutely, Sin. Let's connect. All of my contact information is down below. There's a link to my calendar down there. Schedule a time. It says meet with Juan, 45 minutes. Book that call, and then we'll have a conversation about what that looks like for you guys coming down. So thank you for watching, and thank you for reaching out too. Sassy but Classy says, Miss Stacy needs to drop this air regime, probably. Yeah, you're supposed to be reading these ahead of time so you don't get the eyes like that or the mortality one. But I've been trusting you guys recently, and apparently, that's coming back to bite me. I love that. That's hilarious. Stacy, you are glowing.
Well, thank you. I feel, yeah, thank you. Because I don't feel like I'm glowing. I'm tired, but I'm hanging in there. I do need to get out in the sun though.
Did you happen to notice that she didn't say that about me? Nope, that did not come my way. I just want everybody to make note of that, right?
My gray beard was distracting.
Yeah, there you go. That's hilarious, dude. That is awesome. We got another comment on Instagram. Chris says, hi from Toronto, Canada. What's the best neighborhood for young family, 30 minutes from the beach and great schools? The best neighborhood is the one for you, my brother. 30 minutes to the beach gets you as far out as Parrish. Mm-hmm. That gets you as far out as Parrish, and it gets you anywhere in Pinellas County. And as far east is West Chase-ish. That's really what it boils down to. Really, you don't want to be past Palm Harbor. Tarpon Springs, that area right there. But there's some great neighborhoods, man. Reach out. I checked all my Instagram messages before you got on here. Chris, I saw that you messaged me directly. I will follow up with you tonight. All right, so just know that I'll follow back up with you. And for those of you who are wondering how to connect with us via Instagram, our handles are right there underneath our Stacy's glowing face, not Juan's. At stacy.amen.realtor. You can connect with her there, and mine is Juan at Alcala.realtor also. So feel free to connect with us over there. So great questions, y'all. All right. Key says, hey, Juan and Stacy, are you seeing an uptick in homes on the market? Hands, yellow, red, heart red. I think those are probably emojis. Oh. And they just aren't pulling through there. Uptick in inventory. Yeah, I actually show those stats here in a second. Well, let's do that now. Since he asked the question, let's just jump in really quick. We won't get too far in the weeds on this. Try to stay in our lane. Let's look at what is happening in the marketplace right now. Now, I'm going to do Tampa specifically, and then we'll work out from there. Just to give you guys some insights. Okay, cool. I know this is not the news that people want to hear, but for those of you waiting for interest rates to drop, you've missed another 11.6% of price appreciation on your property. Holy cow, man. We are back at it. There definitely was more inventory coming to the market over the last 3.5 months, especially condos. Condos are a good deal in the Bay Area right now. I want everybody to be aware of that. If you're in the condo market, now is a good time. Inventory doubled through the winter. So condo market is really soft. Single family homes, not as much, especially the good properties. They're still moving pretty quick, but just sharing with you guys, and we'll look at inventory here as well, just so everybody can kind of get a line of sight on this. This is a 5-year chart for those who are wondering what it looked like pre-COVID. I'm going to go back to the 3 as we head down. Tampa's housing market is somewhat neutral, so that's good. The average properties on the market for about 35 days, which is awesome. List price to purchase price is 97.1%. So, not crazy. We were up over 100% for a very long time. So it's nice to see this kind of trending right at average. That's historical. Like you should be 95 to 97%. That's a healthy market. And that's why you're seeing that balance there. So again, I like that. If we go to single family homes, let's just see what they're doing specifically. Single family homes now, 97.2. So just a little bit different in that respect also. So homes that are selling above list, that has been trending down in a good direction. Yeah, it's 16%, almost 17% on that number. Here's the migration map for those of you wondering where all of these people are coming from. Yes, they are coming from the Midwest to Northeast, the Pac Northwest, and the West Coast. This has been a common trend for us for the last 4 years. This is where a majority of our people move from. Virginia, Philadelphia, Boston, Rhode Island has become super popular. Cook County, so Chicago specifically. Seattle's a huge driver into the area. Los Angeles, Carlsbad, we've got a lot of calls from those guys. San Diego more recently, that's the one that's kind of throwing me off right now, Stacy. But like we're getting a lot of San Diego calls, so that's fascinating. But just overall general market there. So 11.9% over the last 30 days in Tampa. Wow, that's a big number. Let's look at Clearwater just to give you guys a sense of like what's happening in the marketplace. Single family homes again, just up 1.1% there. So hovering around $400,000 for the single family home. If we go to Wesley Chapel, where Stacy is and where she was shopping today with clients, this area here, for single family homes, up 5.4% year over year. That's the number. So you're looking month to month, you're going to see difference here. But year over year is the thing that we really track because that's a really strong indicator of what's happening in the marketplace. Inventory there, again, balanced market there, 98.3%. So they're getting more closer to their actual ask price. And then last but not least, let's run down to Lakewood Ranch, Stacy. We got more to check out, but just want to kind of give people a little view of what's happening in the Bay Area. Lakewood Ranch, median sales price is $517, up 3.5%. And they're a little bit more competitive down there. There's, the builders are building, but still demand down there is really high. So Lakewood Ranch is still growing pretty well. Great community to kind of check out. So great question, Keith. Hopefully that helped answer that a little bit. Miss Denise, go ahead, Stacey.
Hi, Denise. Juan, this is your reminder that you owe Stacy and I lunch, and I'll be in town the week of April 22nd. So I will actually send him a calendar invite so he does not forget.
Now, I didn't get off the hook there at all. You're setting calendar invites the whole thing. So yeah, that's great. And yes, I do owe you that lunch. So I am a man of my word. I will be following up on that. So love that, Denise. That's fantastic. Chris says, just as long as Tampa has great internet for those who, we do, man. Speaking of that, so the two biggest companies in the area are Frontier and Spectrum. Spectrum, I think by far has a majority of the market share, but if you can get Frontier, they do fiber. And I am aware that Spectrum is starting to put fiber in, but Chris, we moved down here 5 years ago. I had 500 gigs up and 500 gigs down on fiber when we moved in. It's just always been lights out. We're up over a gig now, and there's a lot of the Bay Area. I mean, the Wesley Chapel and all the new communities out there, most of them are running underground. They're at least 500 gigs up and 500 gigs down. So you should be good. And most of them also have the option to go from 1 to 2 gigs as well. But you're kind of limited at hardware at that point. But anybody that works from home knows that pain of being on a Zoom call and it's like, it starts doing the remix on you. And you're like, what just happened? So having great internet is key. And we absolutely have banger internet. So you're not going to be disappointed there, my man. Check that out. Simpson says watching from Calgary, I believe it's how I want to make sure I get pronounced that correct. My friends to the north. All right. Best burger in Tampa, Engine 9 in St. Pete, or so I'm told. You just saw it, man. You saw it from another client who went and tested it out, and they said the same thing. They loved it. So happy to do that. You are welcome, Simpson. Chris says I will try it in June when I officially move there. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. All right. Corey says Columbus, Ohio. Relocating in September. Looking forward to long weekends, scoping out the communities. Heck yeah, man. Call that community shopping, y'all. That's what we call that. One of our favorite phrase. 34683 zip is full. But that is a local. You're welcome. And they kept it pretty tame. I'm proud of you, just whoever you are. Lucky in Crystal Beach. I'm proud of you for keeping it well-mannered today, because that is not necessarily the welcome wagon that people get, right? So usually when people are strongly against more people moving to Florida, they let us know about it. So appreciate you being diplomatic on that. Thank you very much. Manager, how do we pronounce this? Manjo. Forgive me. I know I'm screwing that all up. Minot, I think Minoj is how we pronounce that. Great show. Heard of a lot of sinkhole issues. Any concern related to the Murata community? I've been here for 5 years. I don't know anyone who's had a sinkhole in their yard or at their house. Stacy, you?
Yep, I've been here 10 years and I haven't either. So.
Yep. So lots of sinkhole issues is false. False. You do not pass go. You do not collect $200. They do exist. I'm not here pretending like that doesn't exist, but they do all kinds of like geological planning when they're doing these new community developments. They're doing sonar. There's all kinds of stuff that's happening because builders don't want to be sued by their residents later for picking terrible areas. Doesn't mean it can't happen, right? People make mistakes all the time, but there's some pretty hefty due diligence that goes into these new master plan communities, and sonar and rate, all that stuff is part of it. So great question though. It's not an unfair question to ask. We don't see that. So Ask Shay says, nice to see you both and thanks for the information. You are welcome, sir. What's your prediction of 2024 hurricane season, mortgage rate, and its impact to Tampa housing market? This is great. Like hurricanes and mortgage rates. Can we just throw insurance in there too? So like, and gators.
I was going to say, don't forget about the gators.
Yeah. I just want, if I'm going to go the hard way, I want it all the way, right? Don't just give me one pain point. I want it all. I want to take everything up front and just move on my life. That's fascinating. Listen, man, Mike's weather page, y'all. I want to give you guys an insight. If you're not following Mike's weather page, let me pull him up. Stacy, do you follow Mike's weather page? He's a local celebrity and he's made national news.
Yeah, on Facebook. I do. Okay.
I'm going to go to TikTok because that's what I have available to me. Y'all, Mike is available everywhere. He is on TikTok, Instagram, apparently Facebook also. But if you're not following Mike's weather page, this guy is awesome. I'm telling you right now, him and our local newscaster, Dennis. What's Dennis's last name? Stacy, do you know?
Phillips?
Yes, Dennis Phillips. Dennis is awesome. We've spoke about Dennis before too, but Mike's weather page, honestly, is the best resource. This guy is dialed in, man. When he says something's going to happen, it happens, right? It's like Nostradamus level type of stuff. And he's the same guy that will drive into hurricanes, like him and who's the Weather Channel weatherman, Jim, what's that guy's name? The Italian guy?
I don't know.
When he shows up, everybody thinks the crap's about to hit the fan, right? Like he's the guy. And but Mike's our guy. He's local Floridian. I think he lives in Pasco County, actually. Or close to it, and this guy's dialed in. So great question. Go see Mike for hurricane predictions, not Juan and Stacy.
Right. Did I ever tell you the story about my first hurricane experience here?
No, let's share it. I think that the audience would love to hear it. Now, let's give reference where you lived at this point. So hold on, let me pull up a map. Go ahead and tell your story. I just want to make sure we're adding context.
Yes. Well, I moved from Indiana. And it was probably, I think, 2 years in after we moved here. I was going to Walmart because I actually needed bread. And I was running over there during my lunch break. And, I'm busy, 3 kids, running, making sure kids are getting off to school, picking them up, wasn't paying attention. I pull into Walmart and there's the parking lot's packed. In the middle of the day. I'm like, what in the world's going on? And I walk in, there's no shopping carts at all.
Yeah.
So I just start walking to the bread aisle and I notice there's a line wrapped all the way around the store. And people
bread aisle?
No, they're just wrapped around waiting for something. They have empty shopping carts. And I asked them, I was like, what what in the world's going on? What are you guys in line for? Like, we're in line for water. You can only buy 2 cases at a time. I'm like, okay, well, but why? It's like, because there's a hurricane coming. I'm like, what? I had no idea. I hadn't been watching the news. Oh. And I'm like, well, okay, this is freaking me out a little bit. I go to the bread aisle. There's like no bread at all. Like everything was empty. And I was like, I really need a loaf of bread for my kids' lunch tomorrow. It blew me away because I had no idea. I wasn't paying attention to the news, and everyone was freaking out, wanting water and bread. And I started to panic because I was not prepared for a hurricane. Like, I hadn't even thought about it.
Yeah.
You have a winter storm up north, you lose power, but you can set your milk and stuff outside and it doesn't go bad.
Yep.
What do you do here in Florida if you lose power for several days?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I find that there's so many things that are fascinating about what you just shared, by the way. So many things fascinating about it. First of all, I love the fact that you were oblivious to it because that,
I thought I was the biggest idiot walking.
Oh, yeah. Listen, we're all ignorant of something, right? Like, got our head down on things. She wasn't watching the news, y'all. Like, listen to the story. Yeah. It's great. So first of all, I want everybody to recognize she's still standing in front of you. Stacey, I think you need to finish how that whole thing went down.
Well,
did the hurricane come?
I was at Publix every day at 6 a.m. to buy my 2 cases of water, even though I really didn't understand why I was buying them, because I'm like, well, can't I just fill up water bottles and save them? But anyways, so I was like stocking up on all this food, researching, trying to find flashlights and all this stuff for probably a week. It was probably a week's notice.
Okay.
And I can't even remember which was a Hurricane Irma that came 17. In. That was supposed to hit us.
Yeah.
Or it was supposed to hit Fort Myers, and then it turned. And the eye did come across Wesley Chapel.
So hold on. Stacey lives here. This is what, 35 miles?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just want to share with everybody, she's not exactly on the water. All right. Like, not exactly right on the water. However, still scary, especially when you're unfamiliar. But I want to tie all this together because the best part of this story is, Stacey, you left the Midwest where all of the crazy folks like us used to do the exact same thing every time there was a major winter storm on the way, right? Like, people would bombard, Kroger and Meijer and all the stores up there and empty the shelves of water and bananas and eggs and milk, and like nothing happened ever.
Right.
Never. Right. And then you move to Florida, and literally the very first year you're dealing with the same thing in reverse. Now you're doing it in the summer. Right. And it turns out it wasn't a whole hill of beans for you anyways.
No.
Right.
And the funny thing too was that when there is a hurricane and you're being evacuated on the coast, we're in an evacuation zone. So everyone comes to me. Mm-hmm. To Wesley Chapel, and the schools actually closed because they use those for shelters.
Yeah.
Like I had no idea about any of this. The kids were out of school for a week, and it ended up being a strong storm that blew through, but I was like in panic zone for 7 days trying to figure it out.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, it's scary stuff. I've told my story in here. Like, I did a live after Irma. No, not Irma. Ian, which was supposed to come here, and that was the one that took out Cape Coral 2 years ago, right? And it was supposed to come here, y'all. I told the story. I was so sick. I don't know if I had COVID or whatever. The kids, Kate and the kids, were up in Michigan. They were actually supposed to come down the day the hurricane was supposed to arrive, and I held them up north. And I remember because it was Sunday morning. I went into church and I play on guitar in the worship band, and I made it through the first service, and I got off stage. I was like, guys, I can't do this. And I haven't been sick like that in a long time. I came home knowing that the hurricane was coming, and I had to board up the house. Stacey, I laid down on the couch at 12:30 on Sunday, and I woke up 7 a.m. on Monday morning. I lost a whole day. I was so sick, and I was just sweating bullets. And here I am, this ignorant northerner, trying to figure out how to button up my house. Plywood and y'all, it was a mess. And I got on the week after and did one of my very first lives here. And like, I lost it. Like I literally was like almost bawling because I didn't know how to just the emotional relief of it. Right. It was one of those things. We're terrifying people right now, by the way. But nothing happened, man. It's just like, it's so weird how the whole thing works. But Wesley Chapel, if you're afraid of hurricanes and you don't want to participate in the board your house up, put hurricane shutters up game like Juan has to, move to areas like Parrish, Lakewood Ranch, Wesley Chapel, areas that are farther off the coast. So you don't have to worry about that. So
yeah,
great question.
The only things you have to do up here when there's a threat of a hurricane is bring in all your outdoor furniture, and that's stock up on a little food in case you lose power, and you're good.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. You don't have to board up windows or anything.
Absolutely. Simpson is asking if we elaborate on sinkholes. Unfortunately, no, we can't. I can't speak to that. It's way out of my lane. I just don't understand it. I know why. I have an understanding of why it happens. Let me rephrase that. But it's not something we ever even think about. Where we live, it's just not. Is it possible? Of course it is. But we just don't even ever consider it. Okay. Janina says, do taxes in Florida go up every year? I'm on Long Island, New York, and our taxes are crazy. Death and taxes, guaranteed, right? Great question. And the answer is yes. Well, historically speaking, no, they haven't. I just want to pre-frame that. They haven't always gone up all the time. When the economy was in the dumps in 2008 all the way through 2012, taxes were going down on a regular basis across the country. Right. So everybody's seen that before. But since basically 2012, taxes has gone up every single year, everywhere in the country. So, Janina, that's not exclusive to you. I know they're crazy up there. New York is a whole nother planet when it comes to taxation. And so is California. That's why so many New Yorkers are moving to Florida. It's part of the because you don't have an income tax. Your property taxes aren't as high, and we're very business friendly. We don't have a death tax. There's no estate tax either. So like we're a haven for money at the end of the day. But our taxes are going up. Now, they implemented the Save Our Homes Act. So the way that works is your property taxes cannot increase more than 3% year over year or higher than the national inflation rate, whichever is higher. So if inflation ever gets back down to 2.1%, that is as high as the county can levy new taxes on your property. Okay. Or 3%, whichever is higher. So that's how it works here. But you have to have a homestead exemption in order to exercise that property tax right. So if it's a second home or a vacation home or an investment, you don't get that advantage. You're going to pay hefty taxes every time they increase. So something to keep in mind. Great question. Chris says, okay. I need fiber. Let me know. Fiber in my house. Yep. 1 gig up, 1 down. Yeah. So you are definitely used to stable, great internet. Don't cry. We'll find you some good internet, my man. There is good internet here for sure. Don't get any of that 5G nonsense. He knows better. He's got great internet. Okay. Stacy, Island Hopper has a question for us. What is it?
What are monthly average beach home insurance rates now?
It's a great question.
Well,
condo, single family home. That's the first question that we would have for you. Mm-hmm. Condominium will be much cheaper on average, since you're talking about averages, because it's pooled, it's collected. There will be a master insurance policy for the entire condominium structure, right? And condos typically are responsible for roofs, the exterior, all the maintenance, structural stuff, right? And then you'll have your personal liability insurance on top of that. So it's significantly less. I can't give you a quote as much as I would love to try, because it's going to be different depending on the building, right? Depending on the location where it's at. We got 27 miles of white sugar sand beaches out there, but there are areas that are lower than others. If there's a place that it's at 8-foot elevation, there's another one that's at 13. There's some that are at 3. All of those things matter, and they really affect that. In terms of single family houses, it's not going to be pretty if you're on the beach. Assume that you're going to be paying a very large expense unless your home is on stilts. So the new homes that get built, they have to be built above grade anyways. They can't just put a new home right at ground level. They're all on pilings and they're all above grade, 13 feet usually. And then the flood insurance is nominal at that point. If they're built on the block, the wind mitigation insurance is a lot less. But those old stick-built cottages on the beach, I don't even ask people. I'm assuming most of them don't even have insurance because it's outrageous. Living on the beach is an expense that most people, you either have enough money to replace the thing or you have enough money to drop. I've seen insurance policies $20,000 a year, but it was a good size house and the people were willing to spend the money. So great question, man. It's not this is everywhere, by the way, anywhere in the United States, but it definitely is expensive. So keep that in mind. That is not everywhere else. We're talking about on the beach. For those of you who heard that just freaked out. Okay, don't freak out. Before I get to the San Diego question, I'm going to answer one of the Instagram questions. I know you guys can't see this, but Rob W 2005 says, I was just in Tampa last week. What is the typical economic profile? That's a very fancy term of someone purchasing a 3-bedroom single-family home, new construction in the 500 to 700,000 range. So great question, Rob 2005. Stacey, how much money are the people or the households bringing in that are buying these $500,000 to $700,000 houses on average? What are we seeing? We can't give specifics. We can give generals. We're usually seeing little to no debt. Let me start with that, right? Couple car loans are common at that level. We're usually not seeing school loans at that level. It doesn't mean that we won't, sometimes we have doctors and they're still paying bills, but they're making very good income, 350 plus, like those kind of incomes. But what I'm seeing, from when we're meeting with our clients is they're in the 150 to 250,000 range pretty normally. At that 5 to 7, you're going to need to be 200,000 to feel really good about what you're doing in my mind. And I think that's kind of an alignment with what we're seeing. We don't get to see everybody's bank accounts and their bank statements. We don't ask for that information, but if you just do the math, in order to qualify for a $400,000 mortgage, you need to make at least $100,000 a year household income and have little to no debt. So that already tells you that at 500, you're at $1.25, right? You go into 700,000, you're going to be 150. And again, if you're at that level, you're paying more income tax. You're actually not getting refunds most likely. So you're paying income taxes, federal, not state, federal income taxes. And you may have investments and things like that too. So it's a good question. It's a great question. So thanks for the question, Rob. Appreciate that. But yeah, if you're trying to take down a $700,000 house, $150 to 200 is probably, you need to be in that range at least to make that happen. Okay. What is that? Oya says, hello from San Diego, California. Hello, San Diego. Are KB, Madame May, and Ryan Homes decent quality builders? Stacey, I believe that's you.
Yeah, so KB Homes we would put them in our budget builder category, like your entry level. Madame and Ryan Homes, I think Madame is probably in that second tier, probably on the lower end of that second tier, whereas Ryan Homes maybe a step above, just because you get to pick all your finishes.
Yep.
It's more of a semi-custom.
Semi-custom. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So great. You gave us a great range there.
Yeah, he did. He hit all three.
Yeah. So you definitely have like some flexibility in those areas there. Again, we call them production builders. That's anybody who's like, these are our models. These are the finishes. This is the lot for this model and this finish. Those homes go a lot faster. They're typically less expensive because you're not slowing things down with design choices, running, right? Because every time you do that, there's a potential of a product not showing up on time, damaged, or being out, right? So that it just slows everything down once you start to make your own decisions. So the builders, have production builders. Then you get into that semi-custom range, like Stacy was talking about. That's where you're able to pick finishes, like maybe the flooring or the cabinetry color or the backsplash color or the tile in the bathroom color. You're able to do some, customization. I said semi-customization. You're not going to be doing structural changes, those types of things, moving walls around. That's full custom. You're talking 12 to 18 months on the good side of those types of build, and you're going to be $1 million plus to even start those conversations in most areas. So great question, man. Great question. All right, Stace, Sassy but Classy's got another one. Not sure if I still have it, but I was there back in 2013 and 2017 working remotely. I used a company called Wow. Yeah, Wow is still around, by the way. Wow Cable Company. And they had decent internet. That is not what I would call decent anymore. But I do remember the company. Wow. And I've seen, I've got something in my mailbox recently from Wow because I noticed that they had updated their logo. I was like, ooh, look at these guys getting fancy over here. Getting fancy. Fiber map for those who want to look it up. My man, he went right to work. Way to go, Chris. I appreciate that. Uwinski says, yes, taxes are going up drastically. Yeah, totally depends on again, what do you have a homestead exemption? Do you not? But yeah, when home values go up, taxes go up. It's a fact. Put it in there. Like I said, death and taxes are coming for you. There's no doubt about it. So great one. Miss Thornton. Miss Madison Thornton. How cool to have Madison on with us tonight. Hello from St. Pete. She says, Marcia and Juan helped my family and I moved to Florida from North Carolina. They're great, y'all. Madison is great too. So we appreciate having you guys. Thank you for trusting us to serve you. And now Miss Thornton has got in the business. So I'm proud of her watching, keeping a watchful eye over there. She's already helped out the team. Y'all. She's hosted an open house for Marcia.
Oh yeah, that's right.
How cool was that? So
yeah, that was very cool.
Yeah, appreciate you. And she is a vet, y'all. And we love our vets. So thank you for your service to the country, and thank you for serving the real estate community now. So we appreciate that also. Michelle Roberts says, hi. Hello. Love the team. That's awesome. Mr. Holland, what is up, my brother? This Dom and I, I've discussed this before, but we talk in TikToks. That is basically how we communicate as 40-year-old men. We don't use words, right? Words is hard. We only communicate in TikToks and memes, basically. That is our life. And I know some of you are like, it's such a shame. I know. I listen, everybody's got something they're not proud of. I don't listen to Britney Spears. So, I mean, you got that, right? But I do speak in TikTok. So, I mean, can't win them all, man. Cannot win them all. Jim Cantori. That is right. Way to nail it. Lucky in Crystal Beach says Jim Cantori. That is correct. And I love that Jim showed up last year and had to leave. We were like, you got to go, Jim. Ian ain't coming here. You got to go hang out somewhere else. And he left. So that was awesome because nobody wants to see that guy in their backyard. I'm telling you right now. Right? Nobody wants to see that guy. All right. Sassy but classy. I've been keeping a close eye on this tiny home community in I struggle saying this. Donatassa. That is like my mouth moves so fast.
I know. I stumble over it too.
Donatassa. That's right. Called The Escape. But was wondering if either of you happen to know similar communities in Pinellas County side. No, I don't. I would love to see if we could get some of that in here. But if there was enough land to build tiny homes on it, there's going to be a developer willing to put more money to put something bigger there in Pinellas County for sure. So that is the one downside of being in an area where everybody wants to live. The people with money want to make it happen. Right? So they all want to build big buildings whenever they can. And places like St. Petersburg are incentivizing builders, developers to come in and do more affordable housing. So they're going up. Right. And tiny homes definitely don't go up. So that's part of it. All right. Great question, though. I can't remember the last time we got asked about a tiny home. So love that. Mr. Michael, Ola Juan. We're soon to close on our home in River Landing, Wesley Chapel this month. Congratulations, Michael. Do you have any recommendations for pools and enclosures installs as well as gas home generators? Great question. There's one company that does a majority of the generators, Stacy. What's the name of the company? It's escaping me right now. Generac. That's the big one. Generac is the one that is most popular. I think they have one of the longest standing buildings. They're solid. They get good reviews. So Generac, check those guys out. And Tampa Bay Pool Company and Blue Sky. Those are two pool builders that I know that are reputable, have a good reputation in the community, and the builders use them as well. So good question, my man. Good question. Javier, hey Juan and Stacy. I play piano, got my worship band as well. Now that I'm moving, I'm looking for a good Christian church. Any recommendation? Dude, there are so many churches here. Where are you moving to? Where's Javier moving to? Dude, you gotta let us know. We can't help you with that. But do me a favor. Reach out. Riverview? I
think so, yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. All right. Do me a favor. Reach out. Let's talk about this. All right. So I know you got my contact info. So we'll work through that. I want to make sure you get connected. And for guys, and forgive me, I always forget to put that on screen. If you'd like to connect, if you have questions, my phone number is right there on the screen. That's our website. The link to my calendar to schedule a time to talk about, potentially moving to the area is down in the description as well. So if you need that, you got it. All right. So great question. Happy to hook that up. Where are we at? Slid way down. Tampa Bay is considered Sinkhole Alley. Unitsky, I'm always I'm trying to figure out where you're at with this. I feel like it's almost trolling, but he also says things that are nice sometimes. I'm trying to figure out where it's at because I just don't know where this is at, right? Just don't know where this is at. We're not experiencing that personally. So, but hey, if it's there, post it. Love to see it. Audrey. Hi, Juan. My husband and I have a Zoom call with you tomorrow. What is up, Audrey? Audrey Connect. Can't wait. Just curious, since Stacy lives in Wesley Chapel, could she talk about it a little? Of course. And how does it compare to Parish? Great question. Stacy?
Well, we picked Wesley Chapel because of all the growth that was coming this way 10 years ago. So that's kind of where Parish is right now. It's just starting out with all that new development. So it kind of reminds me of what Wesley Chapel was. I love Wesley Chapel. Everything was just very convenient for me. I have 3 kids. I was relocating here from 1,000 miles away. And it was just, they made it easy. Their communities, those master plan communities have wonderful amenities that really brings people out and makes it easier to meet people. So that's one thing I loved about it. And Wesley Chapel just has everything I needed to run my household, within 15 to 20 minutes. So it was just perfect for me and my family. And the schools are great too.
They are highly rated. Stacy meant to say.
Highly rated, yes. Sorry.
They are highly rated. They are highly rated. Yes, that's what she meant to say. Just so everybody knows what's happening here. We're not allowed to tell you whether something's good or not. Yes, and Parish is great. It's up and coming. Again, she gave you a great understanding of what it is. Parish has a lot of runway because it is not well established yet. But I shared the stat the last couple of weeks here that there are as many homes being sold in Parish right now as there are in Wesley Chapel, and both are building, right? And one community is far more established than the other. So just kind of tells you what's happening in that place. So both communities are great. Yeah. Right. Go ahead.
Yeah, Parish, if you're closer to the beach, so that's another huge positive thing about Parish. Whereas if you're in Wesley Chapel, you're a good hour to the beach.
Yep.
But in Parish, you're farther away from Tampa. Wesley Chapel, you're closer to Tampa. So it kind of all depends on your lifestyle and what you're looking for.
Really does. Really does. Let me check Instagram real quick for any more questions. Nope, no new questions on Insta. What's up? Shout out to Instagram. All right. M. Sir says, so I think it's M Circle, but I'm not quite sure what's happening there. Can you talk about portability? Are you referring to mortgage portability? Just so I'm clear. Hit me up. Let me know. We'll follow up on that.
Maybe talking about tax portability.
You could be talking about tax portability too, which is a whole other thing. Stacy, you want to share some insights on that?
I don't have a lot.
Okay. We'll bring that back to you because that's not a common question. I actually just sat through a training on that because I was interested in that as well. It has to do with your Florida homestead exemption and being able to take that to a new property. So there's mortgage portability and there's tax portability. So we just want to try to dig in a little bit more on what that is. And we can get deep on that next week too. Just so everybody knows, we got a lot of questions still to answer. Michael V says, currently my wife and our baby are on a look and feel visit. Went to Ulele tonight. I love Ulele. Did you have the oysters? All I want to know, dude, did you have the oysters? if you didn't, you're missing out. Go back. Have been trying to make the move for a year now. Just need a job. Understood. But yeah, Ulele is a wonderful restaurant. That's right down in Armature Works, right next to Steelbach, where we talk about frequently, y'all. For those of you wondering. Going to the meat market per your recommendation this week as well. Heck yeah, dude. You won't be disappointed. It's great. Meat market, Bar Taco is right across the street from there. Awesome. You got for Beachy in Hyde Park also. And Buddy Brew, which is one of my favorite coffee joints, that is right across the street there as well. There's a couple cool little bakeries there also where you can get some cool macarons. So definitely big fan of that area. Vlad, part-timer, welcome. Well, yeah, I was wondering what's happening. I haven't heard from Kevin today, and I hadn't heard from Vlad. I'm like, what did I do something wrong in my life? What's happening? Sorry for the late tune in. Finish work. Kong versus Godzilla, but I made it in time here. Congratulations on that. Juan, what is the best suburb? What is the best suburb area between Tampa and St. Pete that is at least impacted by her? Dude, anything on Pinellas County isn't fair game. Like there's no hiding. When you're on a peninsula in the ocean, and let me just pull the map up again so everybody can get reference to what he's talking about. There are a lot of great neighborhoods, dude. The hurricane thing though, if you're gonna live on the peninsula, that's not dude, we're just dealing with it. That's how this is gonna work. What he's referring to is between St. Pete and Tampa, right? Mm-hmm. So talking about this. So this is St. Petersburg at the southern tip of this peninsula that is on a peninsula on the ocean, right? I want to remind everybody where we live here. Let me move this up too. Sorry, the question's on the screen. So he's talking about this area, St. Pete. And then that's only, to South Tampa, it's less than 20 minutes, and you can be to Tampa International Airport in like 25 minutes. Downtown is 30 minutes, give or take, traffic. In terms of the best neighborhoods between the two, South Tampa is wonderful. And then historic Northeast in Tampa or in St. Pete is a wonderful neighborhood. That's the one right next to Vinoy Park, for those of you wondering. So here's the pier. And this is the historic Northeast. This is a excellent neighborhood. One of my personal favorites. It's awesome. So worth checking out. Cool. Stop sharing that. Dom saved me. Generac. Yeah, we finally came to that, my man. Thanks for bringing that up. Appreciate it. Denise says, Michael will be your neighbor. That's right. He will be your neighbor. No doubt about that. Let's see. Denise says the sinkholes are not as prevalent as you're making it out to be. You have to do your research. There are instances, but yeah. And if you look at the map, and in all fairness, there is a map that shows these things, just like there's a map that shows hurricanes. And that map terrified us and almost made us not move here because it said that Tampa was one of the most hurricane-prone areas in all of Florida. And then I got here and I did my research, and we haven't had a hurricane in 105 years. I'm like, well, something is not like the other. What is happening here? So same thing with the sinkhole maps. Like, I'm not saying that it doesn't happen. I totally believe that it does. There are people who are dedicated to that lifestyle. I don't know anyone or haven't heard of anyone, and I travel the entire area documenting it. So it's not as common as people make it sound. So that's what we're getting at here. So, but it's a fair concern. I totally understand. If I lived on the side of a mountain, I'd be worried about mudslides. I get it, man. I know the deal. What do we say? How we missed out on the oyster? Oh, next time. Went to Buddy Brew as well. Awesome. Glad you went to that. It is a great spot. Appreciate that. All right. M Surf says paid off house in Orlando and thinking about relocating to Lutz. That's Lutz, not Lutz. For those of you who are out of the area. Yeah, I know it looks like Lutz, but it's Lutz. We have low property tax because of how long we've been here. New tax rate. Yeah, portability is what you're referring to. So M Circle is referring to your homestead tax portability. I will bring that back next week because it's a little nuanced, and I don't want to give guidance and incorrect information that would steer anyone to making a decision about making a purchase in Florida when I misrepresented something. Okay, so I'm going to sit on that. But I will get into that because it is really cool. For a property owner who has a homestead exemption, trust me, I am interested in knowing that when I buy in the future, I can actually take my tax benefit with me. So we'll get into that because I think it's a great question. Gulf of Mexico. Yes, absolutely. Awesome. Okay. Y'all, just briefly, over the last 2 months now, we've been doing this Q&A forum and it's been wonderful, right? We've had the best time connecting with you guys. Like I said, the last 2 months also coincided with the busiest time we have for people considering making a move to the area, right? We get a lot of people that come in, and if this is your first time joining us, like, let us know where you're watching from. If you're watching this later, feel free to chime in the comments, ask questions. I respond to all legitimate questions, right? So what I don't respond to is spammers. You can't put leaks in the comments of the channel because that will take somebody to bad areas. So we limit that also. The thing I want you guys to be aware of is, like, Tampa's not perfect. It's wonderful, but it's not perfect. It has its own flaws, the things you're gonna have to deal with. It's crazy hot in the summer, and the other 8 months are awesome, right? There are sinkholes. I haven't ran into any. I don't know anybody that's had a sinkhole, but there are sinkholes in the area. That is part of the deal, right? We have hurricanes. Like, we haven't had one in 105 years, but it is darn possible that we have a hurricane at any summer, right? So, like, these are just part of the I look at it as a tax. This is the lifestyle tax I'm paying to be close to the water, and this is just part of the deal. So do your diligence, do your homework. I think that that's an entirely appropriate response to anything that you have concerns over. If you want more information, feel free to follow the YouTube channel. I share my resources when we do those types of homework. If you Google this stuff, you can find it everywhere. Right. So my only thing is with that, just like Yelp, make sure you're digging deeper than just behind the statement. Statements are easy to make, so are opinions, right? But really do your homework, because there are areas that are more susceptible things than others. Flood zones, non-evacuation zones, right? There are areas that have radon gas that has been detected in them. I'm from up north. That was normal for us. We had basements. You always had a radon inspection on every home you ever purchased because there was radon prevalent in the ground, right? And it could be mitigated, so you look through it. But the reason I'm sharing this with you guys is because we don't want everything to sound like it is sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows. We love where we live. We're grateful, right? Does it come with its challenges? 100%. Every single area you move to is going to have its own thing, right? Some areas have really high crime, right? Others don't. Some areas have really bad weather. Others don't. Some of them don't have any bugs at all. Shout out to San Diego, right? That's not us. We have bugs. This is the way the world works for us, right? We are a subtropical climate on a peninsula in the ocean. So we are at risk to whatever type of things that Mother Nature would like to throw at us. And that is the tax that we pay by choosing to live in paradise, for that matter. And the one thing that, if you do any real research about paradise, no matter where it is in the country, usually there was some form of major natural disaster that made it look like that. So, just be mindful of those types of things. Am I afraid of the alligators? No. Do I go anywhere where the alligators are? No, not ever. Right? I don't go near the water. The fresh water belongs to the dinosaurs. I'm going to leave it to them. That belongs to them. Congratulations to y'all. And you know what? They don't bother me in my house. Right? They don't bother me in my house. I'm not Weatherman Mike. I'm not driving into any storms. Right? I'm not that guy. So we all have our things. I think it's wonderful that people do bring up, of areas of concerns. We don't want to stop you guys from doing that, just so you know. Okay, so feel free to ask those questions, but we won't speak about things that we don't fully understand. All right, so we'll try to always bring you. I'm not saying I'm not ignorant. I'm not saying I'm not wrong. I just try to make sure that I do my best that I possibly can, and let you guys know the absolute truth when we can. I enjoy these Q&As. I often go back and rewatch the lives of other uploads with my friend Angel, nice, who also tunes in, and we absorb all the info and compare notes. You guys are serious. I love this. It's been so helpful for us. Well, thank you. It's helpful to us too, Stacey. We love this, don't we?
Yeah, we do. We always learn something new too.
We do. Because you guys come with great questions, man. Jordan Johnson. Welcome, Jordan. I don't remember ever calling your name out on the live stream before, so thank you for contributing. Love the channel. Wife and I are looking at West Chase and Starkey Ranch. excellent communities choices right there. Very, very good choices. We're in our mid 30s and with 2 under 3. Oh, God bless y'all. You're in the thick of it right now. We'll both have communities in a similar stage of life or just Starkey. That's a great question, man. Here's what I'll say. I have 3 children. If you follow the channel at all, you know that that's true. Both communities that you just called out, I wouldn't think twice about moving to. They're wonderful. Okay, so I think my family would feel at home there. I can't tell you that they're good for families. I think my family would feel at home there. West Chase has top rated schools. It's known for its diversity, its proximity to the beach, its proximity to the airport, and its proximity to downtown. It's older though. That is the thing you have to take there. That community was built in the 90s and 2000s. So it's more established. It doesn't have all the new fancy toys that the communities. It's beautiful though. I mean, Bainbridge Park is awesome. Their community pool, there's golf courses. It is outstanding. It's worth looking at. Starkey Ranch. I love Starkey Ranch because it feels like it was actually built into it felt like it was put. Nature was there and the community kind of grew up in between the trees and the wildlife, as opposed to the clear cutting that most of these developments do, and then slap up a palm tree out in the yard and like all of a sudden we got established growth. That I don't like personally. So I love Starkey Ranch for that. It backs up to like 2,000 acres of state land. You got trails and horseback riding back there. Their park is phenomenal. Lots to love there, Jordan. Jordan, don't hesitate to reach out to us, man. Okay. Feel free to connect, shoot me a text, schedule a Zoom call, whatever you want. I'd love to chop it up with you and go deeper. Stacy, especially, she's got her handle on up there. So love that. What do you say? Dom says, I call him every single time I see an alligator. Yeah. Dom and his family moved from the Midwest, and he definitely reminds me anytime something comes up about an alligator anywhere near our communities. I think it's great. We drove through Starkey Ranch last April. It's incredible. I agree. Again, I'm a super big fan of that. I like being closer to the beach. So that is the downfall, Jordan. You give it up a little bit, but technically, Odessa and West Chase are relatively the same distance to a beach. It's just what beach, right? So Fred Howard is going to be the closest beach to Odessa, and Clearwater is going to be the closest to West Chase. So great question. All right. Victoria King says, I am relocating from the Northeast and I work in new home sales. Will I have a good job market down there? Stacey, yeah. How many new construction homes do you have under contract right now? 8, 9?
Yeah. A lot. You do fine here.
You will do fine here.
Yes.
Lots of builders, lots of communities. You will do very well, Victoria. Thank you for asking the question. Cool. All right, y'all. Well, it is 8:14. We are 14 minutes past the hour. As much as I love doing this with y'all, you know we've got families to get back to. So I owe you all another video this Saturday that I have to complete when we get off here. So I'm going to get that done. If you are watching this later, don't hesitate to reach out, connect with us, leave comments below, right? We got locals watching this. We have people who want to relocate to the area. We have people who just love Tampa. We have people who keep us in check. So all of those are good things. And we're happy to have y'all join us on these live streams. Thank you so much for being part of the community, part of this conversation. Reach out to us in the team. Stacy at stacy.amon.realtor. You can check her out on Instagram there. My handle is juan.alcala.realtor. You can reach me there also. Again, phone numbers on the screen. All the information's in the description below. We'd love to connect with you guys. There will be no live stream next week. Just so everybody knows, next Tuesday, no live stream. I know everybody's going to be bummed out. I already had people asking me about it. Like, is it this week you're not doing it? I'm like, no, it's next week. I'll be in Houston doing at an event. So I'm going to be out of pocket, so to speak. I know that's what all the kids say. I'm stuck in my vernacular. I can't fix it. But I will be off the table. Yeah, I can't do anything for y'all, but I'll be back we will be back the following week. With more insights regarding Tampa. We'll talk a little bit more food. We had some really cool events happen this weekend, and we'll share more of that in the future. But let me just check on Instagram lastly, because we did have so many people pop in and on there. Nope, got all the questions answered over there too. Okay, Y'all have a great evening. Appreciate each and every one of you. And we'll see you guys in a couple weeks. God bless. Take care.
Good night.